Hey everyone! I am hoping you guys can see this. I'm Sharon. I'm here for Prima, and I want to show off some of Julie's new stamps. I have two different sets, so let me know if you guys can hear this okay, if you can see it. We'll see. It always takes a little bit in the beginning to get going. Here we go. Let me know if you guys can see and hear. I'm Sharon. I'm here with Prima, and I just want to share, we've been doing Julie nutting all week, and today on the Prima blog we're doing watercolor with Julie nutting stamps. Now I have Daisy. She's one of the brand new ones. Isn't she cute? And then I also have B-Girl. Now I have her set up in a stamp platform, so you'll see her shortly. But these are two of the new stamps, and I just want to show you size-wise how they compare to like Annie. So if you're familiar with Annie, they are a little bit smaller. They're sized for cards and tags. They're really cute. Okay, so let me know if you have questions. I get really focused when I'm playing, so I may miss a question, but afterwards I'll go in and try to answer them, okay? So here is B-Girl. I just took her out of the packaging, and she's on a stamp platform, and you can use any kind. I have Tim Holtz right here. Now what I did is I put my watercolor paper in, and you set your stamps down, and then when you close it, it picks those stamps up. So there's my watercolor paper, and I like Prima's watercolor paper. I just cut it down to the size I want, and this is a big platform, so sometimes the camera can't catch it all. But when I watercolor, I want to use a permanent ink, okay? So keep that in mind. So this one is archival ink, stays on, works too, and I'm sure you have a variety of inks. If you are a stamper, that would work for this. Now, I am not the best stamper. That's why I needed a platform. So we're going to flip this over. It presses back down on the watercolor paper, and it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Oh, look, I missed a little bit right here and a little bit of her dress. Now, normally I would have to redo that and get new paper, but with the platform I can just stamp again or ink it all up again. I probably missed those spots when I was inking, and I can just keep stamping until I get a perfect impression. This has saved me so much time and so much frustration. Can anyone relate to that? Also, if you stamp twice, you get a much darker outline, which I really, really love. Okay, look. She's perfect. So, this is what I do for all my Julie nutting stamps now. I use a stamp platform, and I never have any mistakes anymore. So, she comes with 3 different pieces. Her wings, the little beehive, and B-Girl herself. And then we're going to go ahead and take... That's what she looked like, and here's the stamped images. So now we're going to watercolor. Now, I do like paper piecing with my stamps, but this just shows you another option for coloring, for using these stamps in just a different way. And I think this way is very kid-friendly. Okay, so what I have out are some Prima water brushes. Now, if you've never used a water brush before, I hadn't before Prima came out with them. They're brilliant. So they unscrew, and this has a water reservoir in it. So you just refill with water when you need, and screw it back on. Now when you squeeze it, let me get some paper towel. That's how you release the water, okay? See it on my hand better. So you control the water. So if you have children, they're not going to spill cups of water painting. They can use these, and my grandbabies use them and they love them. All right, and there are different tip widths, just so you know. So there is a 2-brush pack, and then there's a 3-brush pack. and you'll get like a fine, a medium, and a thick in the 3 brush. Okay? They're brilliant. Now, what do we want to watercolor with? There are so many different things you can use. Prima has watercolor confections. Now these are beautiful watercolor palettes. They come in these tins like this, and then when you open them up, you'll get 12 different varieties. Now mine's well loved, can you tell? This one is called Shimmering Lights, and this one's brilliant for Julie Nutting dolls because you get a lot of different hair and skin tones that you can create from this one, and it's very shimmery when it dries, so that's a fun one to do. If you're looking for a good one to start out with basic colors, the classic set is wonderful as well. And you can mix the brown, the yellow, and the white to kind of get skin tones if you wanted. Okay, and they come, I use the mixing wells, you can tell. I don't clean those up because sometimes I'll go back and touch up a project and I have my custom mixes. One of my favorites though is Pastel Dreams, and they do come with a little swatch card that you can color. I've probably lost the other two. And look at those beautiful colors in there. Really nice. So this is one way to color, and I think I'll start with this one. And then I'm going to show you a project that I did with a whole different product. I watercolored with ink pads. All right, so we're going to go really quickly, but I usually start with the skin. And if you want to test what you would do, let's see, I'm going to mix just a little bit of the flesh and a little bit of the brown up here. You can always test on, you know, outside of the doll and get the skin colors that you like and mix them together. I always test on a scrap piece of paper, and then I'll go in. Now you can also pre-wet the area you're going to color, but you don't want it really wet, just slightly glistening. And then go in and pick up some of that color. And I start on the outside in case it's way too dark. It shades there then, and you can kind of dab some off. Now, if I want her darker or I want a shade, I can go in then, touch this lightly, bring in some darker tones. Don't let that scare you, because I'll show you. If it's just too dark, you can blot it up like that. It takes a lot off. Look at that. And then just, this is much more forgiving than pencils or markers. I just keep a handy little piece of paper towel by me, and I dab up when I need to. I shade only on one side. I don't know if that's accurate. I just love that I can join the watercolor craze, and I'm not really artistic. I like crafts, but so these stamps let me come in here and watercolor and have fun. Now, if you go outside the lines, which I do all the time, don't let that stress you out. You can dab up right away, or you can blend it outside. And I'll do that just to show you what I mean. But these pieces, I'm going to end up cutting out and putting on a card, so I don't care if I go outside the line. So we're just going to go in here and color away. And I'm grabbing colors from the Pastel Dreams set, and that's a watercolor confection set. These products are all by Prima, and I love how you can mix the watercolor craze with the stamping craze, and we can find a new way to have fun with our dolls. How cute is she? She's adorable, isn't she? Up there, I went outside the line, so I can either dab it up or squirt a little bit more water on there, and that will lift up a lot of the color. Oh my goodness, our leggings are too cute. Now think of how, I'm just doing a traditional bee color, but this would be so cute for Halloween and doing like orange and black stripes, or for springtime and making her a fairy. How cute would that be? Get it? Okay, that was kind of silly. So seriously, I could get lost here watercoloring. But if you've never tried it, you got to try it. Use a permanent ink, and then so stamp with a permanent ink so that when you add your water, it doesn't, of course, blend out the outline of the stamp. And then come in with your water brush and just have fun. I really haven't squeezed out any water except when I'm changing colors. And then I'll just squeeze onto my paper towel, and I kind of leave that like it is. Now, if you're not able to pick up much color, just squeeze a tiny bit in there. I don't like my brush super wet. That's actually more yellow than orange. So I might have to go steal orange from another color. Another confection set. And there, I got a big glob of paint right here. Just gonna finish the boot and then dab up some of that. I think the watercolor is very, very forgiving. So this is Decadent Pies. Oh my goodness. This is one of my favorite sets. It will start drying and it will be gorgeous shimmery. Now, if you're cutting these out, you don't even need to stay in the lines. You could just paint away and then cut around very carefully, which I will do. Okay, but let's just say I really messed up and went outside the lines, and I can't really blot that all up because it looks terrible. So what I'm gonna do is squeeze out some of the color, go in here and squeeze on the backdrop outside of where you stamped. And you can blend those colors if you catch them right away. If you don't catch them right away, dab in, sorry, went off screen here. Grab a little bit of the color and then bring it in and join, and you'll be able to colorize the background then and bring the whole project together. Does that make sense? So I just want to finish her stripes, and I kind of want it on black, so I'm going to pop open the classic set here. Clean my brush just a little bit. Testing that, make sure it's black. My biggest problem is when I get my brush too wet, and then the color just kind of flows outside the lines too much. So you can dab off some of the wetness. That's why we keep paper towels. Just keep one handy. Okay, I could see myself really going outside the line. I picked up a lot of black there. But make it fun. Have fun with this. That's actually more of the look I was going for, a lighter black. So I want to go back and lift some of this color. So I'm going to dab on a bit of water and lift up with the paper towel. And I should be able to lighten that a bit. And, you know, you can lift off a lot of the color. You won't get all of it off. But there we go. We get this little, more of a charcoal black going here. How cute is she? This is B-Girl. This is one of Julie's new stamps. And it's perfectly card-sized. Put a little bit out there. And we got to do her hair, of course. I'm gonna color that in. Okay, so this one's really ready to go. I just need to let it dry. I see a little bit of that color coming up. And here's where you could go in and start shading. But you can also cheat shade, that's what I call it, by kind of dabbing some of the lighter colors off. But you would have fun, and of course, it's just a stamp, so if your first couple tries don't work very well, just stamp again and keep trying it. I love watercolor for that reason. Okay, so I colored with the confections in case you joined us later. I used Pastel Dreams and the classics, and I was talking about this one for hair and skin tones because it's shimmery and has a lot of the beautiful tones, shimmering lights. And this was Bee Girl. She's a cling stamp by Julie. She's really new. And all I did was stamp with a permanent ink on watercolor paper, which Prima has tag pads that would be perfect for this, and then started coloring with a water brush. So Prima makes these as well, but I want to show you the other new stamp. Now this is Daisy, and she's adorable. I'm not going to stamp and color her, but I want to show a tag that I did make with Daisy. Now for this one, I stamped her on just a tag size piece of watercolor paper. And I like the bigger pads, like the A4 pads, and I cut them to fit, but Prima does have tag pads, so you could just rip one out and get going. And so I colored her, but guess what I colored her with? Something totally different. I didn't use the confection sets. If you have ink pads that are not permanent, you can use these to color with. So these are Color Philosophy inks. Now Prima makes these, and they're for stamping. They're a dye ink though, so they do react with water. And what I do is pull out the palette I like, and then I get going with the coloring. And I'm just going to show you real quickly how I got the ink and colored with it. So with the ink pad, what I would do is press down on the lid, and it's going to lift a bit of color into the lid so you don't ever contaminate your pad. Then just take a water brush, okay, and pick that color up. And look at how beautiful that is. It's a whole new way to use your ink pads that you might have, dye inks. And you never contaminate your ink pads. And it's a great way to open up more coloring options. How fun is that? Now you can clean off. Sometimes I'll go with my paper towel and wipe that off, especially if I've mixed colors or I used a lot of water. But I love this idea. And I've used this a lot for watercoloring because you can just go in here and have so much fun, and it's like a watercolor palette that you didn't know you had. And they blend beautifully. Look at these colors. So try Color Philosophy inks if you don't have the confections. Any of these products will color perfectly. And then you can get out your new Julie Nutting stamps and have fun with it. Okay, and this one, once I colored her, I trimmed her and put her on a just white mat and used one of Julie's Armour tags and her new paper pad. Let me grab that real quick. So I pulled out March and April. These are the new ones, and they're A4 size, and I just pulled out some of those spring papers and had fun decorating. And then I used her ephemera pack, the March April ephemera pack, to add a couple accents. So here's the ephemera pack. You get 108 pieces, and oh my gosh, I've already made 4 cards, and I have that whole packet plus all of these left. So all right, so that's my coloring for Julie Nutting. And I have one more little tip. I always feel like, are we good? Are we still on here? I feel like I have so much I want to share with you. So this one's really easy. I added a touch of foil. I don't know if you can see it. There's a touch of foil on the edges. And it's so easy to do. I took a planner glue pen. Now this is the perfect stickiness. It's by Prima. And then it comes in different colors. It dries clear. All you're going to do is run that planner glue pen on the edge of your paper. The more you use, the stickier it is and the thicker your foil will be. And then I took Prima's foil. Now it comes in tubes like this. They're called rub-on foils. There are 6 sheets and the 3 colors in a tube. So 2 of each color, and they're pretty big sheets, 6 by 12. So I like to cut it down a little bit so it's more workable with the tag. So you just put your glue on, press down your foil, and look at that. It's a really fun way to add just a bit of shimmer to your projects. It's not an exact science, of course, because you're using a glue pen. So however thick or thin you put it on is the result you're going to get. But I love lining my tags with this. It's really fun. And you can put whatever color you want. There's rose gold and silver and holographic. And ta-da! It just adds a nice little fancy touch to your cards and tags. So thank you guys for joining me today. I'm Sharon, and I've just been having fun with Julie's new products and watercoloring with them. We're featuring these on the blog today. It's prima.typepad.com if you want to check out the design team and what they did. They're all Julie Nutting stamps and watercolor mixed together. All right, thanks so much, you guys. Bye-bye.